This is the place to be in New Jersey this weekend, it looks like, hey?
It truly is. I think the whole world showed up.
It feels like it.
Yeah.
It's good. There's a great buzz. I recognize some faces from people I have seen yesterday and today, and it's really nice to be here. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, yeah. You got a little love today, it looks like.
Yeah, that's good. Good.
How's
Nice
the con
exchange.
been? This is your second Collecticon ever?
Second Collecticon. First one was in Houston a couple of months ago. And I'm lucky enough to be going to Richmond, Virginia next month with Collecticon. And then a few others along the way.
All right. Well, we'll see you there. I'll be there too.
Okay, great.
So if you're anywhere near Richmond, put that on your calendar, guys. All right. Well, let's go and get this started. So how this is going to work, I'm going to ask Terri a few questions. We're going to leave about 10 minutes at the end of the panel for you guys to ask questions. So get your questions ready. The mic's right up here. We'll have you line up when I tell you. We're going to have to cap the lines, keep our time nice and tight. So I'll let you guys know about that. Without further ado, how about our first question here?
All right,
Terri.
I'm ready, I think.
How did you end up as the role of Serena?
How did I end up with the role of Serena? Oh my goodness. Toronto, mid-90s. I had two young friends visiting me from Calgary, where I grew up, and I was taking them to the Hockey Hall of Fame. And I got a phone call from my agent, and she said, Terri, they want to see you for this new show called Sailor Moon. I said, okay, all right, just send me the details. She said, now. I said, what do you mean now? They want to see you now. I said, I'm going to the Hockey Hall of Fame. So anyway, my then husband took our young charges to the Hockey Hall of Fame. I went to the audition. It was fast and furious. There was a lot of stuff. And then I left and joined them at the Hockey Hall of Fame. Got another call from my agent. Terri, they want you to do the role of Sailor Moon. Okay, that's great. I didn't know that Sailor Moon would become what it has become, but always happy for a job with a show that I'm interested in. I said, okay, well, we're going to go back to the Hockey Hall of Fame and let me know when we start. She said, you start tonight. I went, oh my gosh. So they were on a fast timeline. I started recording that night and for the next few years, and
wow.
That's how I got launched into this beautiful world of Sailor Moon stories.
Wow, they really threw you into it. Oh my gosh. That sounds kind of the norm for voiceover work and whatnot.
That's a little fast.
Yeah.
It's never quite happened that fast before or since, but it was fun. Maybe it contributes to the speed of the show or the speed of the dialogue or something. It's like, let's keep moving.
You got that Sailor Moon speed.
That's right.
That's awesome. Well, regarding your performance as Serena, it's widely regarded as one of the most iconic dubs of the 90s. Many remember Serena as a very expressive teenager with a personality many girls like myself were able to highly relate to. Why don't we take a look at a clip?
Okay.
All right. Clip, please.
Tuxedo Mask? Give me a break. He's not even here, so I cite.
Yes, I am.
No way.
I am Tuxedo Mask.
You are? Mm-hmm. He is Tuxedo Mask. I don't believe it. Tuxedo Mask? Give me a break.
That was it. Short little clip. Now, that was the moment where Serena found out that Darian was Tuxedo Mask.
That takes me back.
I'm so glad. That music, it really is different. It's very nostalgic, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is.
So
Darian.
And that clip's constantly circulating my socials.
Yeah?
It's a very, very popular one. What was your process for approaching the character of Serena? Did you have any inspirations or directions that helped produce her unique vocal fluctuations?
So we had a great voice director for the majority of the time I was there, Roland Parliament, and then John Stalker took over at the end, and I did a little directing in and out when Roland wasn't available. So we worked really well together. I'm so grateful to have worked with him. And I don't remember any initial directions, but what we did was we played the Japanese version, and I listened, but those of you who speak Japanese or have been to Japan know that it's a very different language, so the intonations don't really jive with the English intonations, the way we express the same intention. So I just kind of followed my instinct. I used the visuals. So in dubbing, we have the visuals to work from, and we're trying to match the voice to the visuals. So the visuals were my biggest clue, the script and the visuals. And so I tried to match the emotion of the character. But it was really important to me to be as authentic as possible. but also not to limit myself to some of the very serious subject matters and, the lessons. I really wanted to find the humor in Serena. So I loved it when she was klutzy and she was imperfect. And I love that message that, you can be strong and powerful and you can be a superheroine, but you can also be imperfect and vulnerable and laugh at yourself, which for me have been really good tools in life. So those are some of the different tones I was looking for. But as I say, I really wanted to ground it in reality. So I would also do things like when she's eating, because she snacks constantly, I would literally be eating crackers in the sound booth and probably make such a mess. They probably were glad to get rid of me after every recording session. But I tried to create that. Or if I was doing, she's, saving the universe from the negaverse and she's moving or running or leaping, I would really try to replicate the physicality of it, because it changes your breathing. So so the intention, the objective, I don't know, are there any of you actors in here or writers or directors?
Oh, we got a few.
Yeah. So I would look first of all for the intention, the objectives, what the goals were of the character, and the feelings would kind of follow. But I was really trying to expand the feelings and give her a very full, I was trying to honor her with a very full characterization, because I think she's a very complex and full and fascinating character.
Absolutely. Probably one of the most expressive characters in anime, even just animated-wise. That's fantastic. That's so fun. You probably got quite the workout in the booth doing that then.
I did, and I loved it, and I always loved being very physical, but that would take me to why I left the series, which was it was a heart-wrenching decision, but a decision that I didn't question, because at one point I was pregnant with twins, and I had a number of miscarriages, so I was directed to go on bed rest for a while.
Absolutely.
So my choice was, of course, to protect my pregnancy and my kids, and I now have 2 young adult kids as a result of that. But it was sad to leave the series, but this is really a common to reconnect with people who know the series, and we sort of have a common language and a common understanding of the stories. And I love hearing people's stories of how the shows or the characters have resonated with them. So it's great. So I kind of feel like I never did leave after all,
Quite the ripple effect you don't expect after 2 decades, huh?
No, it's great.
That's amazing. And you started dubbing that a year before I was born. If that puts anything into perspective. So that's wonderful. So what was it like getting into English dubbing in the 90s?
It was new.
Pretty new, right?
It was the first dubbing job I'd done. So I mentioned a little bit about it, but the trick was trying to match English words to animation that has been drawn to match the Japanese dialogue. So you have to sort of be very visual. When the mouth is open of the characters, you try to find a vowel that fits there, and when the mouth is closed, you try to find a consonant. And it doesn't always match up. They write the dialogue, they try to, give you an English sort of match up with the picture, but it doesn't always work. So I have to say I did a lot of musical theater as a kid and in my 20s. And so my experience with music and tempo and timing was hugely helpful in dubbing, even more so than original animation, because with original animation, some of you may know, you start with the script. So you're standing in front of a microphone reading the script, and you kind of have this latitude to do whatever you want, which is fabulous. And then the animators draw the character to your voice. So there's a lot of freedom in that. So this was different. You have sort of you're in a bit of a box, so to speak, the screen, and you have to, as I said, match the voice to the picture. But it was a real challenge. So if you're on a roll, and there was one show I did where I was on a roll, I wish I could remember what show it was, but they would play this loop of the dialogue, and I was the only actor in the booth that day. Sailor Moon had a lot of dialogue. So Roland asked our engineer to start, and I started reading and went through it, and we kept going and kept going and kept going, and normally we would stop and adjust. We kept going. We finished the whole episode.
Wow.
The whole episode without stopping.
A true
and
marathon.
then the 3 of us just kind of looked at each other, Roland and Saul the engineer and me, and we just kind of went, wow. it was really magical. And so that rhythm, it was like a song. And so those of you who are into music, it was like the beginning, the middle, the climax, and then the denouement. And it was really, really special. So,
Oh, absolutely. There's definitely rhythm to a story structure.
yeah, absolutely.
That's a great way to put that.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
thanks.
fantastic. All right. Well, thank you for answering that. We have 2 more questions, so go ahead and start lining up if you've got questions right now, and we'll throw it over to you guys. So how about if you could be a Sailor Scout or make one up of your own, who would you want to be, and what would your powers be?
I gotta stick with Sailor Moon, you know. You go with the girl who brung ya.
Oh, yeah. She's the one that really put that effort on you.
I love Sailor Moon. I love Serena, and I've already kind of shared some of the reasons why. I just think she's imperfect, she's strong, she's vulnerable. But I guess I would just say that the other thing that one of many things that I love about this series is the collective. So there's strength in numbers, there's strength in friendship, there's strength in community. So I think that the team is more powerful than the individual, and I think that's true in life, in my experience anyway.
Oh, yeah, she couldn't access her powers without her friends. They inspire her. What a good message to send to people, right? My last question for you before we throw it over to the audience. If you had a Luna in real life, what would you want that guide to be?
So I have been thinking a lot the last few years about things that fill me up, fill my cup, fill my soul, just fill my heart. And I have distilled it down to 3 things. So I'm not going to give you one thing, I'm going to give you 3 things.
Okay.
So my guiding lights in life, in a way, are community. Here you are, my friends, my family, people who I share experiences with, like all of you. Community, the arts. I'm lucky enough to work in a field where I can be creative. I also write. I write scripts for television, theater, film. As you know, I act, I direct. When I'm immersed in a creative process, it really fills me up and has gotten me through some rough times. And the third thing is nature in general. During COVID, I really connected with nature. I was lucky enough to be in a place where I could go for long walks and look at the trees and look at water.
Oh.
I wasn't seeing a lot of people,
Yeah.
but nature really filled me up. So in difficult times in my life, I have often turned to community, to arts, or to nature, or to all 3. So I would say those would be my Lunas, if you will.
Yes, of course. That counts. That counts absolutely. Hey, if you
Okay.
can't help a person, hug a tree. You know? Okay, well, that's all the questions I had for you. Let's go
Great
ahead and-
questions, Tris.
Thank
Good
you
questions,
so much.
hey?
Thanks, guys. Thank you. Take a bow. Why don't we throw it over to the audience here? I see we've got a couple people that are curious. Go ahead and step up to the mic.
Hello again, Terry. Hi, everyone. My name is Christian. So, thank you, by the way, for coming. Like it's literally a dream come true, a prayer being answered. So, thank you for coming to Jersey and seeing all of us, because you really have touched our hearts with your incredible performance at Sailor Moon. So,
My pleasure.
Thank you. I'm going to ask a very quick 2-part question just because I want to respect everyone else's time. First question is this. This is a time frame question. I know you did majority of season 1, all of season 2, and the 3 films. Time frame wise, do you remember when you actually recorded all 3 films? Like, was it before the twins were born, or was it somehow you came back while they were
No,
born?
everything was before my kids were born.
Wow.
Because as you probably know, they had a timeline. So when I wasn't available for, let's say it was 3 months or so, Linda Ballantyne came in to fill the role. So anything after 2000 is Linda's. Well, until the more recent iterations of Sailor Moon. Yeah.
Gotcha. So you probably filmed it around the same time, maybe of season 2, if possible.
Yeah, I would have finished that off in 1999, I think.
Gotcha. Oh, last question is this. If there was additional episodes and you were able to explore, I guess, different phases of Serena's life, would you have loved to explore during her period as the Moon Princess in the Moon Kingdom, or her as an adult, or when she has become Queen of Crystal Tokyo, if you had the opportunity to?
Oh my gosh, I think they'd all be really interesting to explore. You know, as an adult, it's interesting. I've been watching some television series, and sometimes they have young characters who emerge into adulthood. and somehow something shifts or is a bit lost. So I probably would veer towards her younger selves. And I think we have a lot to learn from that because we all carry those young selves within us, whether we're adult or youth or whatever. So I probably would go back to the younger years.
Thank you so much. So happy to see you again.
Thanks for your question.
I personally would love to see Serena's college years.
That would be fun, actually. That would be good.
Hi. Thanks for meeting with me yesterday. My question's actually about the clip that was played.
Oh,
Do you know why the decision was made to put dialogue where there actually wasn't a dialogue originally?
I don't know. I wish I could answer that for you. But my guess would be that they felt that maybe the story wasn't clear enough and that they sort of wanted to weigh in on the side of making it clear for the audience, even if it didn't necessarily match what was on the screen.
Yeah. Okay.
Or it could have been a mistake. Or.
Thank you.
Thanks for the question.
Hello. So my question is, we love Sailor Moon for the characters and that enjoyment, but also the story. So I want to ask you, as both an actor and even as a writer, what was your favorite part of the story of Sailor Moon that you were a part of?
It was a little hard to hear you. So the question is,
What was your favorite part of the story of Sailor Moon?
my favorite part of the story of Sailor Moon.
Yeah.
I'm going to go back to community. I think the power of those Sailor Scouts working together, well, first of all, being friends and, navigating some tricky moments in friendship, as likely most of us have, so kind of in their daily life, and then working together and coming together for a common cause and the power in that. Like, I really believe in the power of community, not just on the screen, but in life, in our communities, in our cities, in our states, provinces, countries. There's a lot going on in the world right now, and we need power of community.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your answer.
Yeah, thanks for your question.
Hi, nice seeing you again.
Hi, you too.
So, while you were doing voice lines for Sailor Moon, what were one of your favorite lines ever?
Okay, I am asked this a bit, especially with signing of autographs, and my favorite one is moon, healing. Actually, I'll do it at the end, but moon healing activation. And it sort of goes along with a couple other things I've said. I just think there's a lot of heartache and hardship in the world right now in many ways, and I think that coming together in a group like this and, sharing this experience with others, or getting involved in one's community in other ways is a very healing action. And I've heard a lot of stories of healing yesterday, today, and at other occasions when I've been lucky enough to talk to people who resonate with the series. So I think the healing power of the series is the thing that is most meaningful to me, and therefore moon healing activation. And maybe at the end we can say it together.
let's activate that healing. So let's activate that healing.
Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. Good
Thank you. That was a great question. And we'll cut the line off here with my friend in the pink hat here. I see ya.
Hello.
Hello.
Firstly, I want to say thanks for, making my childhood amazing. And I'm pretty sure as everybody else here would feel the same.
Thanks for saying that.
Yeah, of course. So my question is actually geared towards voice actors. What's a bit of advice that you would give to newer voice actors who are coming up in the scene, how to differentiate themselves, make themselves known, and just separate themselves from the crowd?
Okay, the question is, what advice would I give to young voice actors coming up to kind of separate themselves from the crowd? Have you ever heard of the joke, how do you get to Carnegie Hall? Practice, practice, practice. So I would say the same thing about voice acting or acting in general. So I know that there are lots of ways to use IT to get tapes out through social media and YouTube and that kind of thing, and that's not what I'm going to talk about. I'll just talk about the craft of acting, because I think the craft of acting, whether it's behind a microphone like this or in a theater or in front of a camera, we go back to the basics of what a story means, what place the character has in telling the story, how we interpret the character, because we're all different as actors, and what that means to us. And the best way that I learned how to do that is through acting classes and being in theater productions. I started when I was pretty young. My mom was involved in amateur theater in Fort Collins, Colorado, and invited me to an audition, and I got the job, and it was fun, and I did that ever since. So I would say any opportunity you have to get involved in amateur productions in theater, student films, volunteer your time, make your own movies, take classes. You guys live pretty close to some of the best acting teachers in the world. In my 20s, I was lucky enough to study at the HB Studio with Carol Rosenfeld and Uta Hagen. That is one of the cores of my craft, for sure. And later in LA, I studied the Meisner technique, which is very different, but really valuable in different ways. So any opportunity you have to take classes, workshops, I don't know, at the college level or the independent studio level or just in your community center, I would contact opportunities. And then when you're lucky enough to be in a show, I would contact every casting director, every producer, everybody whose name you can find in your area who does the kind of work you want to do, and let them know who you are and let them see your work. And if they can see you do good work as an actor on stage, in a short film, or in a web series, there's a better likelihood that they can imagine you voicing one of the characters that they really want to represent as best as they can.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, good luck to you. Thanks for asking.
Networking, it's so important.
Yeah,
Half the battle.
yeah, for sure.
Hi, Terri.
Hello.
First of all, I just want to say welcome to New Jersey. I hope you've been enjoying your stay here.
Thank you so much.
So just two quick questions. Did you have any routines or rituals to kind of channel Serena before your recording sessions?
I'm going to say my rituals and routines before I work behind a microphone or on camera or in theater are kind of similar, and they go back to this young man's question about getting into voice acting. And it's the craft of acting, so warming up vocally, doing vocal exercises, really enunciating and warming up the physical apparatus that I use. So there's that. And then there's the emotional warm-up. So what do you do to emotionally warm up? Once again, that's kind of a long training process to get there. But I would really try to isolate myself. If it happened to be a really emotional scene, I might isolate myself and do one or more of the exercises that I'd learned as an actor, and it would help me touch upon the things that were important to me in the scene that would generate the emotion that seemed authentic for this scene. So those would be the kinds of things I would have worked on. And once again, I'll take it back to training and what a gift it was to train with really good teachers. So I wish that for all of you who are interested in this field.
And
Yeah.
then my final question is, I guess out of all the characters in the series, who would you resonate with the most? Who do you see yourself
Who
most
do I
in?
resonate with? It's still Serena Sailor Moon, because I love her heart. I love her soul. I love that she's a klutz, which I am sometimes, and makes mistakes, which I absolutely do.
Yeah.
I love that she's imperfect, and she gets knocked down, and she keeps standing up and trying again. So her resilience is really inspiring to me, and that's what I strive for in my life, one of many things. Yeah. Thanks for asking.
Yeah, thank you for sharing.
Thank you guys so much. That's about all the time we have left for today.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Terri, for giving us your time.
My pleasure. Should we all maybe stand up and do moon healing activation to
Oh, yeah. Should we
bring
do a
some
video
healing
really
to our
quick? I can do a
world?
selfie
Anybody who
video.
wants to, I invite you to join me.
All right.
Okay.
Here.
I'm going to count to 3, and then we're going to do moon healing activation. Okay? 1, 2, 3. Moon healing activation. Woo!
Coming up here in just
So
all right,
much,
everybody.
Thanks, Galacticon.
Great job, guys.